whoever loses this round, they will be saying goodbye as well. So we'll be heading on to the game anytime soon. And just like that again, we're your caster Samke Saya. With me is Excondrel. Let's see how the teams will be starting off their game.
Looks like we have a group up on the top side of the map here for Bigetron. Maybe going for a cheeky little level 1.
Looks like they're going to be seeing each other in here. I like this. It's 3v3 potential. This is going to be a patience test, okay? It seems like it's going to be BTR just going to be a little bit impatient. They're going to go for that quite aggressive invade. But let's see if they're going to be successful in that one. Meanwhile, while that was happening, still in the middle lane, just the matchup between the Orianna as well as the Aurelion Sol, as expected, was going to be poked out more is the Aurelion Sol, but we're not yet done because on the top side, we can see, Ryzen going to be the first blood from that side of Team BDR, but we're not yet done with this one because that Graves is also going to get a double kill up against the members of BDR, and here we go, more exchanges, 2 for 2 trade so far. Harry getting stunned in here, looks like he's going to be another casualty in the other end of the map. Oh my goodness, Henry again. Okay, not anymore, but a 3v3 in total so far.
What?
Who did get an upper advantage given that 3v3 fight out with
I mean, Graves came out with 2 kills, so that's really great because he can now start to be a bit more oppressive in the jungle. However, Tristana got 2 kills funneled onto her. I don't think there was like a massive advantage picked up by either team. Obviously, when it comes to pure gold output, and NXP came out slightly ahead. I think they used less summoner spells in the entire engage as well. But goodness gracious, that was a crazy level 1. Man. I mean, Graves is and if Graves can snowball this, dude. If Graves can snowball this, I think this is a great start for Nex.
Yeah, and I think Orianna was just meant a lot of exchange of kills in this one, but yeah, lots of kills given onto Graves, and he is just starting so good. So yeah, going back to what initially has happened. So we've seen a while ago an invade coming from the side of BDR. It was a 3 for 3 trade, but then again, the Listen missing out the jungle because again, we were talking about them in their very own jungle comp in here. Nexplay Esports in the top side. But before we even talk more about that, we can see another invade going on to the bottom part of the map. Really nice gap plays. Harry might be in a bad position as well. Looks like he might go down anytime soon. Oh, the BRAWL will be there for an exchange of life. But then again, they take down one member from the side of BDR plus potentially a turret.
This is such an insane start for the Graves. Like, you really could not ask for a better scenario. Like, they're even going to get first turret of the game at 2 minutes in. I mean, that was a good pickup as well. I think the Aurelion Soldier's got a solo kill in the mid lane onto the Orianna. Nexplay, somehow... If I was in solo queue, and forgive me, I would be saying, "All right, guys, FF, go next." Like this is one of those starts that you just can't give to a Graves. He'll just run away with the game, and I love the way they executed on that bot lane tower dive. Waited for the Olaf to walk back. They knew that he was coming, and yeah, this is feeling a bit grim now if you're BTR.
Well, in the middle lane, though, looks like Julie will be punished a little bit, but yes, gonna get punished. Back up incoming from Josh. For the meantime, potentially might be getting Harry as well as Henry, sounding like not gonna get the kill, but still fun because again, this is the Graves getting really aggressive in his place because he's just basically capitalizing on what he's got so far. You can see that he's got almost 5k in his very own pocket.
Yeah, and he's got the Ghost Blade finished up, and also the Phage. I mean, Lee Sin hasn't even backed yet. Lee Sin's got a single longsword. And he's got the gold to spend, clearly. But he's got a single longsword for this dragon fight compared to a Ghost Blade Phage from the Graves. This is not a fight that you want, Bigetron. You could maybe go for a cheeky steal, but... he gets the cheeky steal.
Cheeky steal. Yes, indeed. We go along with the team fight though, but they will be punished in here. A lot of casualties. Yes, you take the dragon away from us, but then again, you're gonna be a casualty for us. That's gonna give more kills onto the Graves and to the rest of the members of Nexplay.
Yeah, they lose the they lose the dragon. But clearly they gain a huge amount in terms of map gold as well. Loads of kills, and they're going to pick up another turret in the bot lane. It was a lovely little steal from the Lee Sin, but realistically, the full commit to the fight was the error for Bigetron here, because they just lose yet more gold. And of course, I believe it was a Mountain Drake or an Earth Drake. It's okay, but it's not a game breaker, right? That's not going to win you the game. Whereas the extra gold in the back pocket of the Nexplay carries probably will.
Now that's for sure. Another question in here: how can BDR potentially go for a comeback play? But for the meantime, let's talk about what is happening on the top side part of the map. 2v1 situation ongoing. Truly trying to survive in here with the stars still zoning out of members. Oh yes, it will survive. Look at it. To the backup are the members of Team Nexplay, Justy as well as who's in here. Oh, look at that shockwave connect of Team Nexplay, but the damage is still not enough to even take them down. Oh, shockwave connecting, trying to go for it. Look at Justy. It looks like he will still be surviving. Bullet time has been committed. Harry will still survive, though the BRAWL will fall down. Man, this Graves is not dying. He's still all alive. But yeah, we're not yet done in the fight. Unfortunately, I think there was no ultimate available. No collateral damage for the Graves, so he won't be able to snatch a steal from that team fight. But overall, what do you think from that fight?
That was a really well played fight from Bigetron, given how far they are behind. And unfortunately, that was a 4 versus 5 in the total, because obviously we had the rotation coming out from Falp, and we didn't see the same rotation by Arisen, who unfortunately wasn't able to capitalize on getting any kills. He missed that hook shot to try and find something. But it was a really well played fight for Bigetron, despite how far behind they were in gold. Unfortunately, all of the gold is essentially located on Graves. So if Graves is focused or taken down low, that actually evens up the scales in terms of the fight output. And you've also got to have a look at Tristana, who he is like really starting to ramp up with the Infinity Edge. So you just have to be a little bit aware of the fact that if Graves gets taken down low, you're actually losing a lot of the power from the next play lineup. But they get the Rift Herald. That fight doesn't mean much when you're still just taking tower after tower and claiming all this standing gold on the map.
Yes, that's the turret's objective up top. Here we have another team fight happening in the middle lane. Oh, look at that Gage coming from the side of Team BDR, taking down the Aurelion Soul just in dangerous position. Ultimate coming up from the Braum as well, trying to go for a setup, but looks like that's not going to be enough because the Braum's going to be taken down as well. Way to retreat for Team Nexplay on that fight. What has happened? Did they get caught off guard? I think they got caught off guard on that one. Not really expecting the engage to happen from the side of BDR.
Well, I think actually BTR are playing this well. They basically realised that Camille seems to be relatively committed to a side lane split push pressure, and actually they're just bringing Falp into the fight and forcing 5 versus 4 fights over and over again. They focus down Joshi on the Graves, take him out of the fight very early on, and actually they can then use the Tristana to find the resets and continue to take advantage in these fights. So I think they're just playing the fights really well. Oh my word, Tristana, that was a little too much. But they're playing the fights really well here, Bigetron. I still think they lose most of the fights if they're on an even playing field, but they're forcing an uneven playing field. They're saying, okay, we force 5 versus 4s, and Camille, you notice that Camille hasn't actually been part of any of these fights so far.
That's for sure. I still would call this a pretty even matchup despite Team Nexplay on the lead, because we sometimes would see, when team fights happen, sometimes we can see Team BDR winning. But for the meantime, we can see Olaf going for the split push work on the top side, forcing that Camille or at least one member from the side of Team Nexplay to back away. Gotta go for the teleport. You have to make it on time because you're gonna get sandwiched by the members of Team Nexplay, just so in case. But he left him alone. Instead, I want to go for a defensive play in here onto the middle. This is the beauty of having a good side lane split push. But for the meantime in here, more fights, more abilities getting committed. Henry in here gonna get hextech. Made him coming from the Camilla. Look at that! Getting deleted. 2 members from the side of Team BDR. They are forced to back away. Henry is kind of low in terms of HP, and them going for a... I thought this was a chance coming out from BDR because they forced some of the members of Nexplay to go for a defensive play up top, and even going for BDR going for a mid push, but somehow apparently, you know, Nexplay just answered back.
Yeah, I mean, I think BTR essentially utilized the fact that they knew the rest of Nexplay were rotating to the Olaf at top to go for a mid lane push. But again, that was a 5v5 this time. You know, you're still looking at an 8,000 gold lead for Nexplay. That is not an insignificant gold lead. Mm-hmm. Graves is 5,000 of that. Graves has got 5,000 gold lead on Lee Sin. He is incredibly beefy and deals a hell of a lot of damage. So if you go for a proper 5v5 where the scales are even, I would expect that outcome for Nexplay most scenarios. That's a kick onto BRAWL. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, in the bot lane part of the map, we can see another member from the side of BDR getting deleted. Hextech Ultimatum not available. Camille as well. But for the meantime, here in the riverbed, we can see that Graves just obliterating anyone away from Team BDR. So I mean, this started really, really great. 10:05 onto that Graves, not getting any death as of yet. A while ago, we did see him like, okay, he's gonna die this time. But no, that didn't happen because was that a triple? Yeah, not really a triple kill, but giving 3 kills lead to your jungler is just so massive, and it's now paying so well for Team Nexplay.
It was even 4 kills as well by the end of it. Like he's had so much gold, and this is one of the things. Like if you can get that kind of lead and kind of run away with it, like Joshi has on Nexplay, like it's so difficult to come back versus a Graves. He's super oppressive. He just gets in your face with the Brawn, procs that Brawn passive really easily, deals a hell of a lot of damage as well. And if you look at the build, he's gone for a very interesting build. Like he's gone for the Ghostblade into Black Cleaver, now into Phantom Dancer, so it's kind of like a semi-tanky Graves build. I imagine he's now going to go for the Infinity Edge to round things off, but at the end of the day, it's very difficult to deal with him at this point in time. He's just super strong.
That's for sure. But for the meantime, flanking on the side in here is the Listen. Gonna go for the flash to find the proper target. Oh, his fortress is gonna get deleted. And here we scramble everyone up. Members from the side of Team Nexplay are losing one by one. Hextech's ultimatum has been committed by the Camille as well. But the Graves is on to backup. Will this be enough to save the members of Team Nexplay? But no! Looks like in here, Joshi will be having a hard time into saving the day. That was quite unfortunate. BDR found an opening when they saw that the Graves is not with them, capitalizing on, okay, let's punish them. They're incomplete. They're not together. Let's do this.
Oh my word. And that is exactly what we talked about, Kasaya. Like, Graves is all of the gold, realistically, for Nexplay. And they essentially got into a situation where they were, oh, they're going to steal the dragon? Oh my god, that was so close.
Oh my goodness, that was so close. But hold on, because we can see more fights happening in here as they return back alive. The members of Nexplay Esports is going for revenge. Oh, gotta be careful on that one, Lee Sin. So, yeah, death timers, fortunately enough for Nexplay, is not that heavy as of yet. It's just a 30-minute game time. And then potentially still even winning this fight might still be there. Hextech Ultimatum committed on to the members of Team BDR in here. Sorry, did not see who that was. I think that was the Oriana. But them taking down another turret was something already really good for them to, not commit maybe the same mistake again.
Yeah, like I said though, it was, end of the day, they took a fight when Graves wasn't there. That puts them on a more level playing field. And I think Nexplay just need to make sure that Graves is not the one split pushing. Like, you have a Camille for that. Make sure Graves is sat with your team at all times. He needs to be at the start of the fight. They still managed to come out of it okay, despite losing the Infernal Dragon. There was clearly a big win for Bigetron. The one thing that I will say, Bigetron have now got a 3-item Tristana. Her gold is not too far behind the Graves and the Aurelian Soul, and she scales up really well. So Bigetron are not out of this game, even though it looks like they're down and out, because they are definitely behind at this point in time. 10,000 gold is no small feat. The Tristana still has potential in these team fights to carry. And again, what you're seeing from the Alistair, very heavy itemization into kind of pure AD defense. There's got a lot of armor being built up, so he's going to be sitting there trying to face tank the Misfortune and the Graves. But just keep your eye on Tristana. There are certain situations in this game where Tristana may be able to come alive in these team fights and pop off the Bigetron. I do think Nexplay are quite firmly...
Oh man, this is them capitalizing that Graves is not with them again and just finding a pickup. But for the meantime, well, two skirmishes happening onto the riverbed as well as in the bot part of the map. You can see Ariana down already on the side of BDR, and the rest of the members of Team BDR just going for a chase. Not really a chase, but gonna go for the clearing of minion waves in the mid. What actually happened in that one? I mean, looks like this is BDR so far getting the map control.
They just caught the Camille off guard. And obviously Tristana is one of those AD carries that once you find a pick, she can commit to it really hard with her rocket jump. So yeah, I think Bigetron, again, like I said, Tristana, she's scaling, dude. Like, she's starting to get the gold. She's starting to become a bit of a nuisance. She's got 4 items and she's got stasis picked up now. This is late game Tristana starting to activate. And so, you do have to be aware of that if you're at your Nexplay. You haven't really been able to crack the base as of yet. The Graves is now full item build. The Graves ain't getting any stronger. This is it for Graves, realistically. I mean, I would be tempted to maybe drop the Black Cleaver and go for an Infinity Edge with the extra gold that you might pick up throughout the game. But this is it. Like, he's full build now. So if you can manage this as Bigetron, if you can keep pace with this Graves at this stage in the game, and your Tristana can still carry fights, like, you could actually come back in this game. And Bigetron are still definitely within a winning shot of taking.
Yeah, let's see about that. Well, I think in team fights we saw how Nexplay Esports is actually, having the potential in winning for as long as, okay, this is gonna be a misfortune, as well as the Graves just preheating from the backline, just protect us. Anyway, they got the damage. They got the damage compared to maybe what the Lee Sin can do. You have to go, but hold on, because you can see another Hextech ultimatum committed by the Camille in here, targeting. I think that was I really cannot see who that was, but unfortunately the Brawl died already. No more person here, or no more members frontlining for the side of Team Nexplay, but them still having the damage that we're talking about from a while ago, winning the fight, going for that ace, and I think this is gonna be it anytime soon, because the death timer, it's 31 seconds before one goes back alive. Despite not having that Baron buff, I'm pretty sure they can end this.
Yeah, they can absolutely end the game. That was a really well executed fight. Again, if you set up a team fight perfectly and you play it on an even scale, you still have a Graves that's 10,000 gold up on the Lee Sin, and they were able to play that one really. The laning phase more so than anything else. One of the good things about Zed in this game is that he's very good at forcing 1v1s, so he's a really, really good split pushing side lane threat. So Chuli is going to be where I'm keeping my eyes. Like, if he can pop off on this Zed, I don't know if there are many people that can actually hold him in the side lane. So really, for the mid lane might be the focus if I with the Lee Sin. So yeah, I'm excited to see if they can do this. Obviously, on the other side though, Bigetron need to win here, Kasaya. If they don't, they're out of the tournament.
Oh yes, one will definitely be going home. So here we go. We are now in the battlefield. Take a look at where the teams are planning to go. Looks like they're going to be no invade, but Falcon here is showing himself in the map. No, he's just going to go place some wards right over there. And yeah, I mean, no invades. No invades so far for this game.
I like it. I like no invades. I think invades are always a bit coin flip, and so I think, like, when you're in a really intense game, just avoiding that coin flip is important. Oh my word. I see this a lot from Asian teams. The support will roam mid just to put a little bit of pressure down in a matchup that is quite difficult. And you can see, like, obviously a melee matchup for like an Ari is quite easy. You can abuse with the basic attacks. So just relieving a little bit of pressure early on for this Zed was the Janna roaming down. But I do believe the 2v2 for Nexplay is technically stronger. As long as they can avoid the engage from the Gragas, they do actually have the advantage in this phase. Phase. Oh my word!
Oh,
first one in the top lane though.
Yes, and that was Horizon. Yeah, we've seen other Akali bans, and primarily maybe this is the reason why they keep on banning out the Akali, especially onto the hands of Horizon. Horizon, he's showed out good assassin plays even during the group stages, if I can recall it correctly, and really showing some good. So let's see how this will go. Again, match point on to Nexplay for this round. If they win this, then they'll move forward in the lower bracket. But yeah, so let's see. In the bot lane part of the map, though, I wonder if Control is gonna go for that gank down here. We'll see.
He's just waiting on the sidelines. They're only level 3 though, and it's very close to the tower. It would be a relatively. That's the engage we were looking for.
Oh yeah, but I think Control wasn't ready. But I think they're fine with the pokes. But for the meantime, Joshi is on the top side part of the map. They're really putting Fop on a tough position as well, that he just cannot, go outside of the turret and just power help for the meantime. Okay. Looks like they're gonna be going for the punish onto Fop, and yes, and this is gonna be an easy kill as they got the sure clear of minion waves plus a target onto him. Wow, 2-0 in favor of Nexplay.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want. Just keep snowballing the Akali. This is a double-edged sword as well. Obviously, there's this engage in the bottom, the flash engage coming up from the Gragas.
Yes, for sure. Putting down the Jean onto a bad spot. The Janna won't be able to do anything but just go play safe. I think one member also fell down side of Team Video. Who was that? I did not see the death timers. Was that the Wukong? I think that was the Wukong. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but was that a Wukong? Oh,
the Wukong, he didn't die. It was his clone that got taken out, so Wukong was fine. They actually picked off the Jin. So the Jin obviously goes down, and that was a really successful gank actually. That's the flash engage that we talked about in draft. If you remember, we mentioned that the only way that Gragas can get onto this bot lane easily is by flash body slam. Really nice flash body slam from the Gragas in this scenario, and Blade of the Ruin King has now been picked up by Nuts. But I kind of want to turn that conversation back to the Akali top lane. Like, this is the pressure that you need to put on. Fiora is the only one that can effectively deal with the split push, right? She's the only one that can effectively deal with the 1v1. You get the Akali rolling and you put the Fiora behind, that's a double-edged sword. It makes your solo lane split push stronger, and it makes your counter to that, the Fiora, weaker. And so that was a really nice bit of pressure put down in the right lane to choose if you're Lee Sin, because I think that that was an effective way to start putting pressure on this roster. Although they are now grouping up, I think maybe with how strong the Akali is, they're grouping for this fight.
Yes, they are. Curtain Call has been popped as well. Gonna be dealing some damage, and then again, Akali's just snowballing from one point to another. Gonna get the double kill, but you gotta be careful as well because 3 members from the side of PDR are still all alive and kicking. They don't have a Janna on their end, but the Gragas will fall down. Massive amounts of damage. One trade so far, but the double kill is gonna go on to the hands of the Zed. Who's is still also gonna get that kill on to that Kaisa. I think overall, definitely we're gonna give that match or that skirmish, that fight, onto next week.
Oh, absolutely! Like they invested so many resources into the Akali, and it's paid dividends when it's come to this initial dragon fight. Like traditionally, as you said, they want to rotate this into side lanes. They want to be able to do 1v1s for the most part. But Akali just too far ahead in gold right now. This is a little bit towards the end of the fight. That was a beautiful body slam by the Gragas, but the Zed still had his ultimate. The damage was a little lackluster at this point in time, and then Kaisa just wasn't able to close the fight out. However, Dragon not taken. Looks like they picked off the Janna, and we may actually be looking at the Infernal going the way of BTR. And actually, I'm really happy that Nexplay didn't choose to either go for a fight or to try and dive this or try and steal it, because I think that they would have lost that. So that was a good play. Just let Zed take the first tower of the game, trade the Infernal, even though it's Infernal Drake Kasai. We know Infernal Drake is important. It's not going to have that much relevance until later into the game. And Zed might even get 2 towers from this. They are threatening the backs. This is really nice cross-mapping from Nexplay. This is really, really good stuff.
Wow, I mean, I like the macro sense of Team Nexplay in here. Okay, fine, just we lost the support, and I think if they didn't lose the support, maybe they would have the chance of even contesting that Infernal Drake. But they suddenly switch decision. They just go for that 2-3 take up top, but hold up thought, because that Curtain Call is gonna get that Ari in the middle lane, plus get that turret as well in the mid. And man, that's a lot of resources getting deleted by Team Nexplay. Man, they even had this opportunity to just fully contest the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and a bit overkill, like every single ultimate used for the Ahri there, but nonetheless, the mid lane turret is really important to take. It is one of the most important turrets that you can get in the mid game, because what it does is, if you look at the map now, it, and Dave might. I'm going to see if Dave can just shuffle over to the mid lane. You can see like where the mid lane turret would have been. The two entrances into the blue and red side jungle are now completely open. That means you can get vision deep into the blue and red side jungle without the fear of that turret blocking you from entering and exiting. It was really, really good to take that this early on, because this is going to allow them to pressure their advantage. But not only that, get deep vision in to keep their split pushers safe. Look at this 1-3-1 that is now starting to open up. Zed in the bot lane, Akali in the top lane, and they're going to have the vision, the safe vision control, because they have the ability to get the deep wards into the red side jungle.
For sure, and Janice is helping way too much with the tornado. Just, if they're not ready, if they are caught in a bad position, all right, the Janice has the tornado available. Just shove the member out, and they won't be able to go for the engage that they want against Nexplay. So let's see how this will go, and seems like BDR is now dancing onto the tune that Nexplay would want to go for.
See, Zed just able to. That's a nice engage, though.
Yes, they're gonna go here under the turret, here in the bottom lane part of the map of Team Nexplay. Wow, you can see Lee Sin going for the top side push. Now it's just truly available up alive, gonna get that kill onto that Wukong. But man, look at that! Inhibitor turret is gonna go spin in here. Now the Nexus is wide open up top. Wow. The macro decisions of Nexplay, they know they can't fight 5v5. So sometimes they just force, to just fight back because it is Team DDR going for the engage. But for the meantime, 1v1 fight, make it 2v1 fight ongoing into the mid with the Janna onto the backup. But then again, not going to secure the kill. Onto the Kai'Sa, kind of fell short. I mean, Kai'Sa, she deals a lot of damage even early game time. So it's kind of hard to deal with. But yeah.
I mean, versus Kai'Sa, you want to make sure you're not isolated, because you want to spread the first ability missiles across many targets. If you're isolated, you can take the full damage from it, and that's where she really starts to shine. That engage previously, where obviously Lee Sin was split pushing the entire time, that has highlighted how BTR need to play this game. Oh, we have another engagement.
The deadly flourish coming off from that Jin just connect, and now the curtain call is not going to be connecting, but the damage will just connect onto one target, taking down that Kai'Sa. Now this is Team Nexplay wanting to get the win for round 2. Looks like they don't want a round 3 anytime soon, because this is them just capitalizing onto this push that they got in the mid.
But I feel bad for BTR, because the play they made at the bottom side of the map was the correct play. Versus a split push composition, versus a composition that is not designed to team fight, you need to hard force the engage. And obviously through the Flash Gragas body slam, that was hard forcing the engage. So I think they made the correct decision. But right now, obviously you saw Nexplay, they set the wave state up so that they were able to push the top lane whilst that was happening. They had the Rift Herald ready to go. They've just taken too many early game advantages that allowed them to play into sort of using that split push effectively. Nice pick onto the Lee Sin here again, but again Zed's just maybe split pushing. No, he's back.
Really nice save, by the way, coming up from the Johnny, saving the life of that Lee Sin. But yeah, that's the only problem. The view is still available onto this Lee Sin, by the way, and this system just needs to be very careful, because it seems like BDR is now finding some overextensions and some pickup as well. If they can delete maybe the Lee Sin, maybe Zed, or even Akali from the map, they can just go all out, because that's what their lineup can do in comparison to what Nexplay Esports has. But for the meantime, looks like they're going to be looking on to making sure that they're going to be shoving the minion waves in all of the lanes and just capitalize the lead that they got so far.
Yeah, I mean, they have the top lane, which is going to constantly push through natural pressure from the super minion for the rest of the game. I mean, is this...
Oh, man, in here we can see Team I'm actually getting confused. We can see some exchange of kills in here, but we can see Jin is still all alive and kicking, dealing some massive amounts of damage. However, Kaisa is also down as well. Falp trying to save his life, but look at that double kill onto the Z. Assassin plays was just on point, and now that was an ace up against Team BDR, and looks like this is gonna Harry is about to go up.
Yeah.
Yes, let's see if he can still go for a defensive play. Is his skills available? But look at that massive amount of damage. Plus, there are a lot of minion waves upside, and this is now a GGWP 2-0 win by Nexplay Esports up against Bigetron Infinity. Wow.
Yeah, look, Bigetron just